Alright, hey YouTube, Nomad76 here. Today I'm doing a test and review of the Coleman 513-700 heater, catalytic heater. And I've already done kind of an overview of this, just talking about it back when after I'd gotten it as a gift. The wife had picked it up at a yard sale. During that video, or on that video, I got a comment asking approximately how much does it burn. Well, I finally found my little brochure here, which, you know, you see I put some tape on it because it was coming apart. In fact, I'm going to tape it right there too. It claims to have about a 18 to 20 hour burn time. So obviously they're saying 18 on high and 20 on low, and it has kind of an adjustment over here. Everything in between, you know, it's high, medium, low. It's just approximate, or you know, adjustable lever there. And so I decided to go full into it and calculate out exactly how much it burns, how many ounces, fluid ounces it burns out. I had posted a video up, the same video or same test video earlier, and was corrected by one of my subscribers and viewers. I appreciate it because I had forgotten that there was a difference between fluid ounces and weight ounces. Well, because my first test I was having trouble calculating really accurately. I borrowed this scale from my work that, you know, that measures in ounces, or it has other calculations, but or units. But I was using ounces, which that is weight ounces, not fluid ounces. There's a difference. So I found a great website called www.convert-me.com that will calculate all that stuff out for you. So I redid the test just to be sure. I'll be rolling in some footage here of the capacity. Alright, so quantity test of the Coleman 513-700 catalytic heater. So I went ahead, I found this online, and this part claims, you guys can see that there, tank capacity is 3 quarts, which would be 96 ounces. And obviously, you see here, we're short of 96, and it was literally flowing out. You know, I filled it so full that it was coming out of the. If you see in that video, in that clip, was 84 ounces according to Coleman. 96. I don't know what the difference, why there's a discrepancy there, except for maybe they were measuring all the way up to in there, which the fill spout, if you see here, is down here, and I had it literally filled up to there, and it was leaking out of the fill port there. So not sure, but on my calculations, 84 fluid ounces will fit into this tank. And then so moving on, I got lots to cover. I'm going to try to keep this video under 15 minutes, hopefully. So my calculations came down to, one, I'm going to be throwing a lot of numbers out there. I'll try to put some down below. Maybe, you know, maybe you'll need to rewatch it if you really care, I guess. So burn per hour, about 6 ounces. Now, if you see here, I started off with 24 ounces. I'll roll that video in. So now, here I've got my 24 ounces that I'm going to start with. What I'm going to do is going to let it burn for 1 hour, you know, time it out. Of course, that's 1 hour after it's ignited, or after it's the flames have burnt, extinguished, and then it's lit off here inside the burner, which from my experience in the manual is usually about, you know, 10 to 15 minutes to get to where you're, you know, 15 where it's really producing good heat usually. And then this is what I drained out of the tank after it burned for 1 hour. And so just approximating, there's about 18 ounces left. Do the math, you know, that's 6 ounces. So 6 ounces in 1 hour. Well, to get it more precise, I did the conversions and weighed it with my scale, which actually turned out to be, after converting everything back to fluid ounces, 5.929 fluid ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and just round up there and say 6 ounces, because You know, this is an approximation. This is not scientific, as I stated earlier. Experiment. It's just trying to give you guys the most accurate information I can. One, if you care, if you're still watching, you probably do. So that gives you a cost per hour, because on average, one of these tanks of fuel, 1 gallon or 120 ounces of Coleman camp fuel, costs about $10.99. Cheapest place typically is Walmart. I'm sure there's other places that sell for the same price. Now, I'm sure you can find it on sale somewhere, and of course that would affect all these costs. But calculated at $10.99 per gallon, that calculates it down to about a cost of 8 cents. Well, rounding up to, because it's like 8 or 0.0858 cents. So I'm rounding up to 9 cents just to make it easy. That calculates to around 9 cents per ounce. 120 ounces times that, or 9 cents times 120 ounces, will calculate to $10. And if you multiply those, you can get $10.99. And then, of course, if you have a burn per hour is about 54 cents. So a tank of fuel, 84 ounces, would cost you about $1.70 or $7.56. Excuse me. So one full tank on high, the tank would cost you that much. Now, how long that would last you? One full tank on high would last, in my calculations, about 14 hours, not 18. Now, I don't know if there's some other variables there, ambient temperatures, whatever, So, Coleman, like I said, claims 18 to 20 ounces per tank. Or it also claims, or there's also a claim in there that says that it will burn, you'll get about out of 2 quarts, you would get a night's worth of burn. Now, I don't know what a night's worth is, whether that's 6 hours, 8 hours, what they're calculating that. It doesn't say. So this is not, exact specs in this little brochure here, or pamphlet, whatever you want to call it. So that pretty much concludes it. So let's wrap this up. Along with the test I gave you there, the burn per hour on high. I'm not going to do tests on low or medium or anything like that. I don't see really any point in that. Now I know it approximately, when it's producing 5,000 BTUs, it's gonna burn about 6 ounces per hour. So we can work with that. Whether or not I believe this is a real good heater for, it depends on what type of use, whether you're looking at it for as a backup heater if the power goes out and you don't have an additional power, any sort of, you don't have a wood stove or some sort of alternate heating source that doesn't require electricity. It would work okay for that. There is warnings in there that it does consume oxygen, because it does burn down within there, so therefore there needs to be ventilation. Now, it doesn't say specifically in any of the literature I could find that it is indoor safe, but it talks about using it in ice fishing, the little shacks as people use up there in the Northeast for ice fishing and stuff. It talks about using them in tents and things like that. So with saying that, yes, probably could be used indoors. Definitely wouldn't be, a nice newer home that's all sealed up with no windows open or anything like that, especially not without a good carbon monoxide detector. It doesn't have like a low oxygen sensor like some of the newer like Mr. Buddy type heaters and stuff like that will actually sense low oxygen and shut down. So again, don't confuse low oxygen and carbon monoxide, two different things. It's not. It claims if it's working properly, it's not supposed to produce any toxic gases, and granted, that is all on the claims you're using good clean fuel. You're not using some random fuel in here. It does say do not use leaded gasoline. Obviously, it would ruin the heater. But in addition to that, obviously the lead, which you can't really get leaded gasoline anymore that I know of. Well, you might be able to get additives or something like that for old vehicles if necessary, but I'm rambling here. So use good Coleman fuel, which is not that cheap anymore, because it's a petroleum product, so oil prices affect the price of Coleman fuel. So obviously gas prices go up, the price of this goes up along with it. In addition, it uses the palladium, the same material. It's got an asbestos mat up here on the top, and there's palladium in that fibers. Which, if you're not familiar with palladium, it's a semi-precious or precious metal that's used in a lot of catalytic converters that are on all modern vehicles now. So it's using that technology to help make sure that you get good clean. It does produce odor. I've stood over it even outside on the back patio, and it would definitely stink up your house if you used it in there. And even the heat, even your tent, it would stink up. So it's probably obviously best for maybe a hunting cabin or things like that. It works okay in your garage and stuff like that. It doesn't really direct heat. The heat just rises. So there's some downfalls to that. So to me, I love it because it's just an old Coleman product, and for my use, it's going to be used as a backup emergency source of heat. I have multiple propane heaters that are indoor safe, and I have quite a bit of stockpiled propane that I can use in case of heat. Now, currently in my current situation where I live, heat's not usually a problem. It rarely gets that cold around here, and when it does, it's not for a very lengthy time. So that should conclude my video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments below, PM me, whatever you feel necessary. I appreciate y'all watching, appreciate all my new subscribers. This is Nomad76. Have a great day.